Hey toy fans, Aaron here. Today I'm going to take a look at some mail away items because, well, you guys have been asking for it. So we're going to take a quick look at the freeze frame action slide holder and then also the mail away slide viewer. These are Luke's Macrobinoculars. Let's head to the table and check these out. So first up, looking at the freeze frame slide holder. This came out first around 97, 98, I think. And as you can see on the back of the card, all you needed to do was send in a proof of purchase along with the original receipt and include an index card, $2 for shipping and handling, and that got you one of these slide holders. Now this of course matches up perfectly for the Power of the Force freeze frame slide collection. So you had somewhere nice to keep all your little slides that came with those figures. The front of this holder carries the theme for the Power of the Force line. Obviously, you got that branding there of the Power of the Force line. And then below that, freeze frame action slides with that nice green lightsaber running through at an angle there. Upper left of this front cover, you got the image of Darth Vader's helmet as you saw it on the package. On the back of this, you're not really getting anything special except once you have that filled out, you're just going to see the back sides of the slides that you're holding on the inside. On the inside back cover of the front, you've got a checklist of the various slides that were available with this line, so you would know if you had them all or not. Now, I don't think this list is actually entirely accurate. Ponda Baba, and I think one more didn't actually come out on a freeze frame line. And I forget what they were replaced with, but nevertheless, you got most of a checklist here. And then for the sleeve that actually holds the slides, your whole purpose of doing this, that's how that looks here. It does hold, I think I already mentioned this, 12 slides in there. Very nicely. They just slide into place and they're not going to move around on you or fall out. So for me, this is a pretty nice presentation and a good way to keep some of those extra accessories, or I mean, these weren't accessories, but you know what I mean. They were the little bonus items that came with your figures. And instead of just being stacked and thrown all over the place, it was somewhere nice to put them so you can keep everything nice and organized. And now for the second offer that was specifically for these freeze frame slides, and that's Luke's Macrobinoculars. And this was going to be your nifty way of viewing those slides that you got with the figures. Now I don't have the packaging handy to show for this, but it just came in a white box. So you're not missing anything to see here. I still have a second one closed up somewhere. It's just packed away in one of my bins. Now to get your Macrobinoculars, that also came included with 2 freeze frames that were exclusive to this set. All you needed to do in this case was send in $6 and 1 proof of purchase from any Star Wars figure. Now as far as looks go, I mean, you're not getting a prop replica. That's not what this is about, but this is certainly something that's pretty identifiable as Luke's Macrobinoculars. So it's got a pretty nice look to it overall. I'll just get this thing off the turntable, get a better look at it. First up, this is the area that you look through, so not quite binoculars. You only got one little eye port, but it is what it is. You're just looking through it to look at slides at this point. Detail-wise, though, it's not overly sculpted, but it certainly is identifiable as Luke's binoculars. You got, little whatnot sculpted in here. Some red paint here, some blue and red paint down here. I mean, for the most part, this is pretty identifiable as Luke's Macrobinoculars. But like I think I already said, this is not an exact prop replica. You got this little blue thing up top, and that does spin around. Doesn't do anything, it doesn't function, but you got that there. You got some lines on top sculpted in, along with the Star Wars logo. At the front of it, you got these little things sculpted in here, painted in. I mean, things are looking pretty nice for the most part. You got that black speckled paint to give it some weathering that I love so much on this line. And then on the bottom half, it's clean. So that black spray is staying pretty much to the top half, nothing for the bottom. As you can see, the sides are pretty much identical, nothing really special to it. Again, not that there needs to be. And then you do have this nice brown strap. You can hang it around your neck. Little Velcro here to help hold that together. Overall, this thing's pretty cool looking. Again, all it is just for looking at slides. It doesn't need to be overly detailed, and plus you only spent $6 for it and the cost of a toy. Now as far as getting this thing to work, 2 AA batteries go in on the bottom, and then on the top side here you just slide in your slide. Haha, no pun intended. So anyways, and then that is spring loaded, so when you push down, is it going to show through there? A light bulb turns in on the inside so that you're able to get a look at that image. And I think for camera purposes, this is probably the best that I'm going to be able to demonstrate that image for you. But when you're the one looking through it, it does its job. The slide looks pretty good. A little bit of a yellowish tint to the image, so not the most high quality thing. It's not an LED bulb or anything that I'm aware of. I don't think LEDs were in use at the end of the 90s. And then real quick, just to look at the 2 slides that came with this image. You got one slide that was Luke Skywalker, where he's on Hoth holding his binoculars. And as you can see from the image itself on the slide, that's looking pretty cool. And the next slide that you got was Han Solo, also on Hoth, as he's trying to find Luke. And there's a better look at the image that goes for this slide. So overall, this is a pretty cool little toy. You know, it does what it needs to. It gives you a way to look at the slides that came with the figures. Plus, as I already mentioned, you got those 2 additional slides that come along with it. It was exclusive to these binoculars, so that was the only way you were going to get your hands on these other 2 slides. And so that wraps up this look at the slide viewer and Luke's macro binoculars. I'd love to know what your thoughts are on this set in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching.